Hey guys. So it's loud as always. There are lots of birds out here and people getting their day started because it is super early here in LA. As you might be wondering, uh, I am exhausted and I've been up all night and I just got home a little bit ago and the sun is coming out and I am just getting in. I am a bad Cinderella. Um, Anyways, so I had a hookup last night and I haven't had one in forever. Well, not one that's went good or as good as this one. So I had to get on here and talk about it. And, well, I'm actually not going to talk too much about the good hookup, but that experience brought me to another experience that I had years ago, which it's like when I've talked to friends about it in the past, laying on the horn, nice. When I talk to friends about it in the past, they're like, "Oh my god, that's like really weird. Like that sounds crazy." And then it just like all came back to me. So sadly, the guy that I was like hooking up with last night, he is from I was gonna say Europe, but I guess London is in Europe, so he lives in London and he has a boyfriend. So double fail. I mean, I'm trying to like not hook up with people who are, um, in relationships, off limits, or like who are like not local because it's like that's just a hookup. It turns out that those people are like the nicer, like more like approachable people. Anyways, so he's super sweet. Everything was super great, and it's just like if only. um, but so he's from Europe, he's from London, and he's here on business or whatever. And it going for some reason that experience brought me back to when I was out of the country for work, and I hooked up with someone that lived there, and that was in Australia. And so let me just tell you what happened. I go to Australia this was not last year, this was the year before last. And so I'm going to Australia, and actually my friend from London, a different friend, he's like, oh, you're going to be in Australia? He's like, I have this guy named Tom, and he's super hot. I hooked up with him once when he was in London, or he was in Australia or something like that. He's like, you guys will get on. Like, he's awesome. He's super good looking. He's super sweet. Like, you guys have to meet. And I was like, okay, like that sounds kind of awesome, like an arranged hookup. Whereas I'm calling a blind hookup, which is what it actually turned out being. So, so I we traded WhatsApp numbers, and then so we're like talking on WhatsApp. We get like kind of friendly with each other as like you would with like anyone that you're going to like possibly hook up with. You kind of familiarize yourself with each other. And so I get to Australia, and I'm thinking like this guy isn't gonna fall through. First of all, he's like way too hot for me. Like he said he was hot. He is like the sun. He is like way. He was so, I mean, hot, and he had like a good personality. And I was like, this is so not America. Anyways, so I'm thinking like he's gonna like stand me up. He's not gonna follow through. This is kind of weird, anyways. Like I wouldn't blame him. I don't know how good of friends they really are. Sure enough, it's like the second or third day that I'm there, and I, his schedule, like our schedules, like not overlap. They match up. Like it syncs. We're syncing. We have a date today. I'm like so out of it. So our schedules matched, and we were able to actually like set something up. So it's like the night, and he's gonna come over, and sure enough, he knocks on the door, and then I open the door, and I'm not being catfished for once, or nothing weird. He was like exactly like his picture, and he was so hot, and he came right in confidently. He just sat down, he started taking his clothes off, and I was like, oh my god, that like I'm usually like let's at least like chat for a second, and I was fine that we weren't. Anyways, he takes off his clothes, and we have like the best Actually, it wasn't like the best, but like for the situation and the circumstances, it was definitely more than acceptable. It was quite nice. And super hot. I'm just like reliving it. It's like, oh god, how gross. I'm like, I wish I could have filmed it. But it was so good. Anyways, so yeah. So my friend set up a hookup for me. So I call it a, I guess it's not technically a blind hookup because I wouldn't have seen him at all. I wouldn't have seen like his pictures on WhatsApp or like anything like that, or you know. So there is that. So it's kind of like, but it is kind of like, it was, I'm calling it a blind hookup. I am out of the country. My friend hooks me up with this guy. He comes over to my hotel and we have sex, and I had never met him before or anything. So that's my story. I that makes such a good story. Like I love having that story, even though I think I did a pretty bad job telling it right now. But it was like so much fun. Oh, and then get this, afterwards, he's like, you know, we're just, because afterwards he didn't like run out the door either, which was kind of nice. He's, you know, we sat there and we like chatted, and it turns out he's like my dream guy. He's like, well, first of all, besides looking like like a doll, you know, he like worked my dream job, like the job like I wish I could work. And he loved music. He worked in the music industry, and he was like, he worked at like a prestigious record label. And I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I was like, oh. And then it was all over. Yeah. So anyways, this one's gonna be over soon too. He leaves tomorrow, so I think I might see him one more time today. You know, but I'm thinking to myself, do I want to do that? Like, why? Why? What do you think I should do? Should I go meet up with him? You guys have a great day. Thanks for listening to my little story. All right? Subscribe. And I hate how I'm getting all like a caricature okay, I'm gonna stop, of myself doing all this like YouTube act. So I'm just gonna try to be myself. So my brother says I am not legit on YouTube unless I say subscribe. And yeah, okay. So have a good day. Bye, guys.